All right, hello and welcome to Sports Today. This is the pre-match day, one day to go for India versus Bangladesh. As is the norm in our lives that we do, I would really appreciate you if you could just press the thumbs up or in the comment section let me know that my audio is loud and clear, because if it is, then we can go ahead with our live. It also helps me understand how clearly you guys can hear me. So once I have a thumbs up from any one of our viewers or a comment from any one of you that you can hear me well and my audio is fine, then I'll give you all the details from the press conference that has just happened. Rohit Sharma, the Indian captain, just had a press conference. So all those details coming up your way. But as I said, I'll only give you details if you give me a like on the video, a thumbs up, that will tell me that the audio is fine, or if you can just send a comment here in the live chat if you can see all good, and I will be able to start. The first comment I get is about me going to Pakistan or not. That I'll address a little later. Okay, great. I've got thumbs up, I've got comments saying we can hear you, everything is there. So that's great. Now that I have your confirmation about the audio, let me quickly dive into what happened at the press conference. This, by the way, is right outside the Dubai International Stadium. You can see the Dubai skyline. This is the sports city. This is where the stadium is there. This is where the ICC headquarters is, and this is also where the Indian team practices, in a different ground not too far away from here. The Indian team is practicing at the moment as well. Bangladesh team, they practiced in the morning, and they had a press conference as well. Shanto, their captain, had come. I'll let you know about what he had said too. But let's start from Rohit Sharma and his press conference. And you know, one thing that people have been continuously asking Rohit Sharma, have been continually asking the Indian team, is that why 5 spinners? You know, that has been a common theme. Everyone's been wondering, because you have a scenario in the tournament, like let's say a team like Pakistan, which are also hosts of this tournament, where they are playing just 1 spinner in their squad, and then we've got 5 spinners in the Indian team. And that was one of the questions that was asked to Rohit Sharma, and I absolutely loved his reply. He said, no, we don't have 5 spinners. We have 2 spinners, sir. We've come with 2 spinners, 3 all-rounders. So that was very nicely put. It's a different way of looking at things. So he said, no, I'd like to correct you. Not 5 spinners, we have 2 spinners, 3 all-rounders. And he went on to explain, he said that, listen, so many times there are countries that have fast bowling all-rounders. They go to a tournament with 6 fast bowlers, but nobody says 6 fast bowlers, because maybe 3 out of them are all-rounders, so they say, okay, you've gone with 3 fast bowlers, but nobody says 6 fast bowlers. The rest are considered an all-rounder. He's saying, why is it that Indian spinners who are all-rounders are not looked at as all-rounders, and you're saying 5 spinners? So that was an interesting take by Rohit Sharma. So he said, you know, the rest 3 are out and out all-rounders for us. And he said that, listen, most other teams, they take their strength. So if fast bowling all-rounders is their strength, they pack their team with that. And he says our strength is spin bowling all-rounders, so we packed our team with that. So that I like that mindset. I like this approach. I like the way he's looking at things and putting it into perspective. And if you look at it this way, then it doesn't really seem like 1 spinner too many. So that was one thing that he spoke about. I asked him about you know, the overhead conditions. Now, if you remember, if you've been a regular watcher of Sports Today, you would have realized that I did a report yesterday where we had overcast conditions here in Dubai. Very rare to see rain in the desert, but overcast conditions, and it was raining here in the desert. And today it's a bright day, as you can see. Let me quickly show you on top there. It's a clear blue sky day, very clear today. But tomorrow, which is match day, on the 20th, India versus Bangladesh, once again they are expecting overcast conditions. Whether it will rain or not, I'll do a different report on that by checking with the local sources. But at the moment, it is expected to be an overcast day with lots of cloud cover. So I asked Rohit, now, did you ever think in your wildest dream that, you know, you will get overcast condition in Dubai? Because when you were making the team, you clearly wouldn't have thought of this factor, but now you know it is. One day was raining and on the match day also overcast conditions. How does that change your plan? So Rohit was very candid. He said, no, we didn't think about this when we were making our team, and that's very obvious. But he said, listen, even if it's overcast conditions, two things he said, very interesting. One, he said, listen, overcast conditions are fine, but overcast conditions with a temperature around 28-29 degrees, something that you expect in Dubai, is very different to overcast conditions with a temperature of 9 or 8 degrees that you sometimes get in places like England or South Africa. So that was also, I think, nicely explained. So he says, could be overcast, but if it's not very cold, I don't know how much of a difference it is going to be making to match conditions and really bringing the fast bowlers in. So that was one clarification that he said. But he said, even if I was to assume that overcast conditions are going to be there on match day, and it helps fast bowlers and batting could be affected because of moving ball, he said on both fronts we are very well loaded. We have enough resources, we have enough weapons in our arsenal. Actually, that's the word that he used. We have enough weapons in our arsenal that can look after that as well. So we have fast bowlers, which he means to say, who can exploit those conditions, and he said we have batters who can bat in those conditions and also get a big total. So that was the other thing that Rohit spoke about. Interesting, they also spoke to him about the fact that ODI cricket and T20 cricket, are they still different? Because more and more places you are seeing ODI cricket also big totals. So he wanted to know, in T20 cricket you've seen the Indian team play one way, which is attacking cricket, bang bang cricket. But in ODI cricket, maybe still a bit more conventional, where top three have to get run. So the question asked to him was like, what's the right balance? Do you now start playing ODI cricket like T20 cricket, or ODI cricket is still different and you play slightly old style where top three are going to be important? And to which Rohit gave a very interesting answer. He said he still feels that ODI cricket is different from T20 cricket, where in T20 even if you're 30 for 3, 30 for 4, you still keep attacking because the time frame is very small. In ODI cricket he feels that top three still hold the key. So what that is telling you is that Indian team will continue with that ODI mindset that they've had, not from now but for about 7-8 years that I can think of. Why 7-8 years? Actually more than a decade. From 2013 Champions Trophy, you see, where top three were given the maximum responsibility, all the onus was on them and they had to get all the runs, and then they set the base for the rest of the batting lineup to follow. And Rohit said ODI cricket, they're going to pretty much play like that. So these were Rohit Sharma's thoughts ahead of the India versus Bangladesh encounter. Just to let you know, from the Bangladesh side, Bangladesh are known now for their fast bowling attack. They've got Taskin in that, they've got Mustafizur in that, they've got the new kid that played one test match versus India as well. He's one of the fastest bowlers that they have. Rana, if I'm not mistaken, is his name. I could be getting it wrong, pardon me for that, but that fast bowler, if some of you are watching it, Taijul of course I know is there. Taijul is there, he can be quick. You've got Mustafizur as well, that can be quick, but that Nahid Rana is his name if I'm not mistaken, he played that one test match, the second test match, picked up 1 wicket apiece in both the innings. Pretty quick he is in terms of pace, was really spoken about in Bangladeshi circle. So in fact it is Nahid Rana, as Amit Sharma is mentioning. So Nahid Rana, that was the name on my mind, but I wasn't 100% sure. So Nahid Rana's name actually dominated the entire Bangladesh press conference. All questions were around that his pace, can he trouble the Indians, so on and so forth. So that is when my mind went back to that test match that he played, 2 test matches that Bangladesh played, the second test match Nahid played, and Indian batters really batted with a lot of ease against Nahid. So I don't see that's as a major factor. I know the Bangladeshi media was asking a lot of questions based on that, but I don't think the Indian team is going to be troubled. Anyway, you saw the series against England. England also came with this pace attack, thought they'll intimidate Indian batters with pace, but you saw how Indian batters were batting against them. So pace, I think, no more really troubles the Indian batters. I expect the Indian batting lineup to fire here. Today what India is doing is practicing at the Dubai International Stadium, which is right next to me, and it's a very interesting thing. They're not doing any net practice today. This is something that I'm telling you on Sports Today exclusively. It's very important. The practice is about to start, but they're not actually doing any net practice. They're going to be doing a lot of fitness drill, fielding drills. They've actually come here today to see the lights, and will the lights disrupt when you're catching, will there be any sort of dew, all of those things they've actually come out to watch today. So they'll do mostly fielding, catching in the outfield, things that can be really important in the match. I think batting, bowling they're done with. They've had about 2 or 3 good practice sessions here in Dubai, so the Indian team is sorted with that. Today it's about looking at the dew conditions. Interesting actually about the dew. I asked Rohit about the dew, and he said that the few days that they've been here, they've not noticed any dew, but he's not taking that as a 100% guarantee that dew will not be there. He gave an example. He said even in Indian cities, sometime where we have much more information and we know a lot about those Indian cities, even there we're not 100% sure whether there'll be dew or not. Sometime there is no dew for 3-4 days, and come the match day and dew comes. So he said same thing here. We haven't seen much dew all along, but you never know what happens on match day. So they are keeping that in mind. As I said, today they will keep that in check, whether there is going to be dew or not. So that's pretty much what the Indian team is thinking of. There was a question asked about Varun Chakravarti. It was very interesting, and it was an interesting question asked to Rohit that can you everyone's talking about Varun Chakravarti, but in the nets, can you pick his variations? It was an interesting question, and to which Rohit replied, he said, you know what, in the nets, we don't get to see his variation because he doesn't bowl us a lot of his variations. He said he keeps it as a secret within himself. And Rohit said, that's fine by me. I don't care. As long as he brings the variations to the match and gets us wickets, I'm happy. And that's what he said he's been doing for a good 8-9 months. And we are happy with that. If he can just bring those variations. And that got me thinking. And I was like, this, a lot of it has to do with the IPL. Because while you're playing for the Indian team right now, and of course when Varun steps onto the field, he'll do his best. But he'll bowl those variations to the opposition batters, not so many Indian batters. Because come the IPL, those Indian batters will be in the opposition team for him. So I think that could be one of the reasons why Varun doesn't bowl a lot of variations in the Indian practice. But Rohit said, I'm happy so long as he does it on the field. He was asked about Shubman Gill's form. He said, listen, I'm never worried about it. He's a class player. He's just going to be good. So, none of that he mentioned, because he was asked about his performance in Australia and so on and so forth. Because after that, Shubman has got runs in the England series. But he said, no, not worried about that at all. So those are the major talking points in the game versus Bangladesh, or ahead of the game versus Bangladesh. There's a very interesting story about Bangladesh practice. Bangladesh got a bowler who bowls like Kuldeep Yadav. So actually Bangladesh wanted to practice against a left arm Chinaman, and they got that bowler. And that bowler's interview I've done, you can check that interview out on Sports Today. It's there. So it'll tell you how Bangladesh is also preparing to face the Indian team. Do check that video out as well. For the moment, I'm going to take your leave. That's the latest from the Indian team's press conference. Very shortly, the dugout's coming live, and I'll see you there, where we'll have a much deeper discussion about India versus Bangladesh. So for the moment, nikhilnaz signing off from Dubai. You guys take care, and give us a like on the video, please. Share it with your cricket crazy friends, and yeah, as always, don't forget to subscribe to Sports Today. Bye bye.